Let's start by talking about 4-H and that partnership. What does that mean for you?
We're really excited about the project that we just announced with 4-H. We're going to sponsor the development of a leadership institute in Africa as part of the global 4-H strategy, and educating and developing the next generation of farmers is critical, and it's even more critical in Africa. And so this project is going to establish in 5 countries a leadership institute to help educate youth leaders, give them the tools and the practices that have worked so well for a century here in the U.S., and hopefully make a real impact, accelerate the work they're doing.
How important is that next generation of solving this hunger issue that we've been talking about here?
It's absolutely critical when you think about the next generation. Two reasons I say that. One, clearly, the people that are going to be producing the food that we're going to be eating 30, 40 years from now are youth today. Second thing is, in Africa, I was struck when I was there earlier this year, when I was reminded, I guess, maybe by a real challenge, and that is that whole middle generation, the average age of farmers in many of the countries, this happened to be Kenya, was about 65. And then there are young people, and when you look at what's happening to the middle generation, devastated by AIDS. And so when it isn't a challenge for 30 years from now. These young people, as soon as they get out of school, are going to need to be contributing. And so it's even a more urgent need right now in many African countries.
Talk about your company's focus on hunger and why it's important to you as a company.
Solving the hunger problem is important to us for a number of reasons. I mean, number one, it's an important societal issue, and you want to make a difference on a challenge that the world faces. But it's also kind of core to who we are. The agriculture and food businesses in DuPont are really aimed at helping people produce more and better quality food. And so the most important thing we're doing every day is advancing science, trying to come up with better seeds, better crop protection, the tools that can help farmers be more productive, and then working with those farmer customers to help them put that science to use in a way that really makes a difference, whether it's helping a farmer in north central Iowa, where I grew up, produce that extra bushel an acre, or whether it's helping a smallholder farmer in Ethiopia learn how to use hybrid seed rather than open pollinated and double his yields and actually have enough to be able to sell on the market, and as opposed to just barely enough to feed his family.
Can we fix it? Can we get there?
I'm absolutely sure we can. I think of agriculture as the optimistic science. There are plenty of challenges, plenty of impediments, but you know, we've significantly increased productivity if you look over the last couple of decades, not just yield per acre, but yield per nutrient use, unit of nitrogen, for example, or unit of water used. So we're doing the increases in a sustainable way. So I'm confident that with science, with collaboration, and by continuing to work on the challenge, we can rise to it. But it isn't going to be automatic. We're going to have to find ways to work together. Governments, NGOs, private sector. We're going to have to find ways to work together at totally new levels. So we do need to learn some new things, but I'm confident we can make it happen.
Last question. What would you like to see happen in the next 5 years? What can we get accomplished?
We need to just accelerate the pace of progress over the next 5 years. We're making progress, but the problem isn't 30 years from now, 20 years from now. The recent USDA report said that corn stocks are probably going to end this year at below 7%. That's less than half what they were a couple of years ago. There's no shock absorber in the system. And when we have that kind of a situation, it means likely more volatility in prices. Fundamentally, demand for food is going up faster than the production is. So over the next 5 years, we just have to accelerate the progress. We have to work together to make it happen.